All right, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Big waves to you. Good to see you. If you got on a little bit early, I was just messing around with Andrea, having a good time, not being a bully. Okay. Mark, somehow Colleen let us miss your birthday yesterday. And I know you were in the room. So we hope you had the most amazing birthday and everybody spoiled you. And if Colleen didn't do it enough, then she has to do it again today. Take an extra day on us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So good to see everybody this morning. I am in a good mood. Um, and the word for today is empathy. Empathy. And it stepped all over my toes. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you about it. So the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. So as I was looking this word up and taking notes, as you can see, and looking at the word, I'm like, what makes a great leader? And I started diving into, I don't think any of us, I think all of us want to be a better human of people, right? A better, you call it a leader of people, call it, but I think we all strive and want to be that person that takes care of people, that loves on people, that people acknowledge and say, my life's better because you showed up in it. I just think that's where most people want to be, especially you that join in to hear a word of the day. But when I looked at empathy, I thought, wow, there's so much I could learn, so much I could like look at myself on a daily, monthly, weekly basis and go, hey, Brent, are you keeping your values in line? And I want to share this with you because empathy is seeing the eyes of another, excuse me, empathy is seen with the eyes of another, like through their eyes. Empathy is listening, like listening with the ears of another. It's feeling with the heart of another. And I want to tell you, like if I look at my life and I go, okay, I was once a coach and then I transitioned to a principal and now I'm in network marketing and this profession, sometimes I get jaded. I'm just being honest with myself. I get jaded, meaning if I've sit in an office with kids year after year after year, sometimes I get a little calloused over with what they're telling me each and every day, right? And then I transitioned to a high school principal where I had to listen to parents then. And I got somewhat like, when you hear something over and over and you're like, oh my goodness, you almost want to end their sentence for them. And then I got into the network marketing profession. I've been here for years. And so many times I do not practice empathy, meaning seeing through their eyes, hearing, right? Hearing the walk and where they're at and feeling through their heart how they're feeling. And if I watch myself, like when I looked at this word, because I've seen it so much, I'm quick to end people's sentence for them. I'm quick to interject. I'm quick to give them my thoughts. But never leaves, a great leader never leaves that empathy state. And I thought, wow, how important is it for me to hear that? I was talking to a pastor of a congregation a few weeks ago, and one of the statements he made that really I was so appreciative for his humbleness is he said, I've had times in me being a pastor of congregations that I have gotten to the point where I didn't really want to take their calls. Like I dreaded having that conversation. And I thought, you know what? That's called being human, right? We're all humans. And as I looked at the word empathy this morning, I thought, man, if we could just walk the walk every day and remind ourselves that really we're listening, through the ears of another person. We're looking through the eyes of another person. We're feeling someone else's heart of how they're like, that's what we're really doing. Really, empathy is the medicine that the world truly needs. Like if I'm going around on a daily basis and I'm filling the world around me with love, with support, with unity, that's really the medicine that the world's missing. And I thought, wow, that's what would make a massive, great leader. And it's not easy, but it's such a simple practice that sometimes I can get far away from. So to me, as I close, I've already over. So empathy is the ability to emotionally seek to understand. Think about that. Empathy is the ability to emotionally seek to understand rather than to end someone's sentence, rather than to be the expert. Just simply sit in that area of, I'm going to listen and seek to understand. And I fail at this so much, especially with the people that I'm closest to. When I read this morning, I went, where I fail is when I get comfortable around you and I stop seeking to understand and start interjecting too quick. And so I'm going to end with that. It was a great word for me this morning because I thought, man, I could be such a better leader of people if I would just practice these steps and keep them in front of me.
Well, great lesson this morning, Coach. And the quote that I found, and I think this is something, just so you know, that we all can struggle with, like every single human. So I feel like you beat yourself up a little bit. We all probably could beat ourselves up about many of these things. So that's why we cover them, so we can all learn and we can all grow. So empathy is communicating that incredibly healing message of you are not alone. And that's Brene Brown. And when I read that, I thought, man, isn't that like the most incredible thing? I read somewhere in a book, and I don't remember the book, so I would tell you if I could remember, but I can't, where it talked about, and it was talking about with kids. And it was saying that, in your conversations, especially with teenagers, but probably any kid, when they're expressing a pain point, you want to climb in the hole with them. You don't want to talk to them in the hole. You don't want to try to pull them out of the hole, though we do. But if we truly want to be like the best parent we can in that moment, we need to climb in the hole with them, get into that pain point with them. And to me, that's what empathy means. That when somebody's struggling, any other solvers out there that you tell me, oh man, I hate that. And I'm like, okay, let's get a checklist and we will go fix that thing. And you're like, no, I just wanted you to hear me. I just wanted you to hear me. I didn't want you to fix it. And I'm like, wait, what? Isn't that my job? Right. So, but instead to just climb in with them and say, oh, maybe Colleen too. That means we love big. Okay, that's all it means. But we climb in with them and we listen to the pain and we hear and we try to be empathetic with what's going on in their life instead of trying to change it or redirect it or whatever it may be. But what I looked into, because this is not a strength of mine, I can feel the emotion, but I don't know how empathetic I am. We'll see. But it says how we can practice empathy in our daily life, how we can strengthen this skill. And first of all is to be curious. So when I'm talking to somebody and they're expressing a pain point, or maybe they're even complaining about me, like, could that happen? Instead of, putting the brakes on or trying to fix it or change anything, empathetic people take the time to be a little bit curious. What's going on? Tell me more. How can I figure this out? And they ask those questions that they're not interviewing the person or interrogating the person, but they're just trying to learn more. Next, if we want to truly be empathetic, we fight to find the similarities. So sometimes we can maybe be in a huge disagreement, or living, see somebody that's like the opposite of us in every way that we can think of. And we can feel very polarized. But instead, when we're talking to that person through the conversation and through those curiosities, if we can find the similarities, that's going to make it easier for us to be empathetic. Next, and Tammy, I think you put this in the chat, or no, I'm sorry, Arlene, you did. Walk in their shoes. So take a moment. When you see somebody living very differently than you, maybe making choices that you really wish they wouldn't, or you don't agree with, take a moment to back up and say, well, let me see. How is this person's life today? How was it last week? Probably what did they go through when they were 4? I don't know, but try to build that connection with them and put yourself in their shoes. Because when somebody's lived a very different life, they're going to make very different decisions. Like that's how we all are. I see it just the small difference of where you grow up, things that are completely normal to me as a Californian that if I were to do in Alabama, people would be like, oh my goodness, what in the world? And then the things that might be completely normal in Alabama are a little shocking to this former Californian. So just if we can put ourselves in their shoes, we can help get to that place of empathy. And we're getting a little, okay, listen. So obviously to be empathetic, we have to listen, but we also have to share. Because if we're always and we never share our heart, we don't ever give that chance for that connection to truly get to the deep empathy. And then lastly, get creative. So sometimes we can disagree with somebody, or somebody can have a different lifestyle, or we can even get to a place where somebody doesn't deserve empathy. So we have to use our imagination and be creative to try to find empathy, even in those moments that feel hard or impossible. Like if I walked past somebody and they kicked a puppy, it would be really hard for me to get to a place of empathy. But if I truly want to live that way, I'm going to have to walk in their shoes and get real curious and dig real deep and be very creative to try to find some empathy there. So I want to give a quick Saturday birthday. We missed our very own Marlene on Saturday. So guys, if you have a birthday, we missed it, we're sorry. We love you and happy birthday. We hope it was amazing.
We're singing to them anyway today. I'm calling it. Executive decision. Executive decision. Marlene, this is for you, even though we missed it, okay, because of the weekend and yesterday. So Andrea, great lesson today. Thanks for the word, guys. We hope you have an amazing Tuesday. Here we go. Clear your voice. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday,
Marlene.
Y'all have a great day.
To you.
Marlene, I hope you have the most amazing day and more
job.
too. Love you guys.
Have a great
Thank you.
Tuesday.